Other interesting political news, you have Democrat Representative Summer Lee pushing reparations, which a lot of people would argue would destroy America, not unite America. Now, this comes with thanks to libs of TikTok, which she says, quote, just in, Democrat Representative Summer Lee of Pittsburgh calls for Trump administration to, quote, he calls the Trump administration white supremacist and demands, quote unquote, reparations be made. Now, don't get me wrong, maybe she'll get some very articulate, intelligent reasons on why this would be a good idea to unite America and help with healing and all that kind of stuff. Maybe she will. No, of course she won't. But nevertheless, let's hear what she has to say.
Our government, no matter who is in power, has an obligation to right these wrongs, to provide reparations for descendants of enslaved Africans, to eliminate the racial wealth gap, to uplift the Black community. White supremacy is rampant in this country. Just look at the current administration and our own legislative body. They have contributed to the social and economic harms, to racial terror Black folks have experienced in this country. Now, more than ever, we must acknowledge and repair those harms.
No, as mentally vacuous as usual. Well, still a quick history lesson. When was African American unemployment the lowest in decades? Oh yeah, when Trump was in office the first time. Pretty sure he'll repeat that trend as well. When did they have more money in their pocket than ever before? Oh yes, when Trump is in office. Also, the average American had more disposable income and money in their pocket when he was in office compared to his previous administration. Yeah, now this did go viral, got 2.5 million views and 13,000 likes, and is an argument not as old as time, but that is pretty much thrown around every 4 years. You'll see like Hillary Clinton and all her politicians going to the churches and saying they need to call for this, and at the end of the day, nothing ever really happens because I think it would cause mass riots in the streets, it would cause civil unrest. I think it would tear our country apart. Now, one of the biggest issues is how is this fair? I say that because, I mean, there are very few people who are directly descended from slaveholders. And interesting, I'm not sure why she's not calling on the African leaders in over in the continent because they actually sold them as well. She's only calling for the U.S. reparations. Interesting. And another issue is, what about the immigrants who come here too? My family, my mom's family, the side of the family came here from Cuba. Been here for decades, been paying taxes, contributing to society. And it's, again, this government money comes, any reparations would come from the government, be from taxpayer dollars. But I mean, my mom's born in Cuba. Why would she pay for that? Why would we pay for that? How is that fair? I think that's going to be that'll be one of the biggest arguments against it. Also, I don't think the average person would be comfortable with it. It would cause jealousy with other folks. And again, it's how is that fair to the people who didn't directly contribute it? Also, another big argument is the worst officer condition, like even the worst condition in the U.S. living-wise, is still leaps and bounds ahead of most countries on the planet. Now, going to the comments, perhaps I'm alone in this analysis. I mean, personally, I think this would divide our country even more. I don't think it would help us heal. Also, from a moral perspective, it is a weird gut feeling to say, okay, if you were to put a fiscal amount, which some would argue couldn't even quantify that amount, if we were to even do that, then it is weird to say that it's okay for this price. Also, with the slippery slope law at this point, I would argue, it would never end. If you were to have reparations once, it would never end as well. It would just more money. Now, going to the top comments here, you have 2V News saying she should pay out of her own pocket, getting 4.4 thousand likes, which, yeah, I was going to say she's probably a pretty well-off politician. Well, most politicians get paid a lot of money to do very little. Well, it goes for people on the right side of the political aisle as well, a lot of rhinos. That got 4.4 thousand likes. Paul Zuzupa says Summer Lee is a black supremacist, getting 819 likes. American Dad, but I don't think it doesn't look like it's Stan Smith. So I'll say this alleged American Dad says, quote, when Biden was in power, where was your call for reparations? Did he pay out? No, he gave all of your money to white people in Ukraine, and you didn't say a word. Now we have a president saving us money and cutting through the corruption. Now we hear this uproar, getting 1.4 thousand likes, which, I mean, Kamala Harris also did say she'd give like African-American men, was it 44, like thousands upon thousands of dollars, which a lot of people would say is a bribe. But I mean, this is a popular political mechanism that's usually tried every 2 to 4 years, depending, if you're going for a stay versus presidential position. It's definitely not a new idea, but yeah, they're more quiet about it when Biden was in office. Now that comment from American Dad got 1.4 thousand likes. You have Violet saying, quote, reparations were already paid. And there's a meme that says, quote, reparations have already been paid by the 360,000 soldiers who died fighting slavery in the Civil War. Again, I got 1.5 thousand likes. I got a joke from 30 seconds long. Let's see what Rob Schneider has to say. Now this is him explaining California. Oh yeah, California, which never had slaves. There's a movement in California for get reparations paid, which yeah, that was never a thing in California.
In California, it has gone out of committee to approve slave reparations to be paid to people who were never slaves, to be paid for by people who never owned slaves, in a state that never had slaves. That's like paying child support for a child you never had to a woman you never fucked.
Yep, that's a good point. Excuse me. You have 486 likes. 223, good round and good profile name, says, quote, LMFAO, it's so racist that Trump got the most black votes ever. Black Americans have seen the lies. They have been apologies. They've been promised worldly by Democrats for far too long and received crumbs. So they see through this bull crap and they see that you're wasting trillions on illegals. Excuse me. They got 776 likes. Which, yeah, what was it? FEMA gave $640 million to illegals in 2024. A lot of money. Let's see. Crooked Joe has a picture of, Clint Eastwood saying, quote, listen up, snowflake. Let that sink in. I never owned any slaves, and you never picked any cotton. Here ends the lesson. I don't know you shit. Getting 1.8 thousand likes. Austin Trad has a meme of AOC and Trump. And he says always, and the meme is, AOC asking Trump, and she goes, can I ask a question? He goes, better than anyone I know. They got 1.2 thousand likes, which, yeah, that's a good meme. The Crazy Troll Podcast has a picture of Jim from The Office with a famous whiteboard meme. He says, quote, all races across the world were enslaved at one point in history, but there's only race that still cries about it and can't move on. Getting 207 likes. One of the best philosophers ever, Thomas Sowell, this is accredited to him in a quote, and it says, quote, racism is not dead, but is on life support kept alive by politicians, race hustlers, and people who want to get a sense of superiority by denouncing others as racist, getting 1.5 thousand likes. I mean, most famously, although obviously he's an evil man, Bill Cosby, he'll ask him, or no, was it him or? There's a couple famous actors, granted, I'm not a movie buff aficionado, might have been Denzel, no, Morgan Freeman. No, it was Morgan Freeman. I remember this famous interview. They asked him, like, how do we solve racism? He goes, stop talking about it. Which, yeah. I mean, I always make the argument that capitalism defeated racism decades ago. Because, again, most businesses want to make the most profit. How do you do that? You want the best talent. You accept every single resume. You don't say, I'm not going to take these resumes because X, Y, because of their race. You want every single resume. And I would argue that's how you build the best businesses. Again, that got 1.5 thousand likes. Retired publicist says, quote, Summer Lee is a racist. She should not be ignored. Laugh at her, mock at her, point out how bigoted she is, make her be the butt of every joke, set an example to others, will avoid her brand of toxic bigotry. Getting 947 likes. Let's see here. Noticer I am. Doesn't sound grammatically correct, but that's their profile name, which they say, quote, they actually owe us. And I think it's an AI picture of an African-American man and a white man sitting down. It says, so I ran the numbers of reparations and subtracting crime. You actually owe the white people 4.7 trillion, getting 926 likes. Let's see if there's any contrarian statements here. Let's see here. Well, unless it's true, but it's posted on X. So it's got to be true. No, I was kidding. Rogue says, quote, they owe white people, and it's a quote by someone. The profile name is called Turbo Thad. That says, fun fact, the only ethnic group in America that pay more in taxes than they take in welfare are whites and Asians. They say blacks in America have a tax welfare deficit of $390 billion a year. That doesn't sound right. They say that means every 5 years is $2 trillion. That was a quote, apparently, or a tweet from 2022. Again, I would take that with a grain of salt because there's no links to any statistics. They don't actually break down the data. They did get 1.4 thousand likes, though. Let's see here. Laverne Spicer says, and to think our ancestors survived slavery for BS like this, gained 1.5 thousand likes. Yeah, it's kind of funny, ironic. She says, Trump is racist and evil. And they always compare him to the bad guy from World War II, when, again, Trump has Jewish family members. And also, you look at the rates of which, where the minorities vote. Spoiler, a lot of Hispanics and African Americans voted for Trump, including myself. I guess I should clarify, I am Hispanic, just in case you couldn't tell by watching. But yeah, I think a lot of people are tired of this race baiting. A lot of people are tired of the government just stirring up trouble to get votes. And again, people do it on the left side and right side of the political aisle. Obviously, I think on average the left does a little bit more when it comes to this specific vernacular and type of topic. And it's worked for them in the past. It's gotten votes. It's gotten them donation dollars. That's why they keep doing it. It's a proven political mechanism for them to raise the funds and get elected. But I think the average American is tired of all this BS. They said, hey, we're all Americans. We all want an equal opportunity to earn. We have that. We all want you to stop sending money to countries you can't point to on a friggin' map. I mean, how much of Ukraine got? $180 billion? And yet we still have roads that are, beyond, some places beyond repair. A lot of problems here we can be fixing. So from political perspective, I don't think this is a winning methodology or philosophy anymore. I think the average person is tired of this divisive rhetoric. But let me know in the comments, do you think this will still be successful for Democrats going forward? Or do you think, as America, we're done, we're united, we're not going to give in to your hate anymore? But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.